Okay. Hi.
Okay. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Pretty good. So how was your vacay?
Oh, it was amazing.
Was it? I bet it was well needed.
Yeah, it was. And it was amazing. We went into the mountains on the lake and stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was
Well,
well needed.
you
And
look rejuvenated, if I
oh
would
yeah.
say that.
Yeah,
Well, it
no,
was your
it was.
birthday, right?
Yeah, well, my birthday is next week, but because
Okay.
this was like a long weekend,
Got you. Got you. Okay. So I had just started recording because we sometimes include the behind the scenes type thing and all of that, just dependent. But it's like I said, it's just gonna be like a conversation, but definitely want to get your story because it's crazy. After I talked to you, so many of my members of my community have reached out to me like in a personal message talking about how they were feeling stuck and they were feeling like giving up, and they were getting depressed. And the one of my members actually ended up in the hospital because she just wasn't getting out the bed. And I said, oh my goodness, just a stress.
oh,
So, and putting too much on themselves. So this is definitely going to be inspirational. They are looking forward to hearing this one because I told them I got an episode coming up that you should listen to. Because, oh, I'm sorry, you are not alone.
yeah.
But all right, guys, we'll get started. So, just to be clear, how do you pronounce your last name correctly?
Veyre.
There.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All
Doesn't
right,
really matter.
guys.
We don't say it in English, so just how.
Yeah. All right, we'll get started then. All right, guys, welcome to Mompreneurs 2 Generation, where we use this platform to encourage other mompreneurs that are running a business and balancing their family. Today, we have been graced with the beautiful Jennifer Veyre. She is going to share her journey and tell us about her services, and we're just going to talk a little bit. So let's get started. Hey, Jen. So, how
Hello.
are you? Welcome.
Great. Thank you. How are you guys?
Pretty good. Pretty good. So, yes, we talked about your wonderful vacation, guys. Self-care is always a must. It truly, truly helps rejuvenate you and just give you a whole different outlook, thought process. Sometimes you just got to take a mental break. That is
Yeah.
definitely needed. So tell us a little bit about yourself, your business, what you do, how you became to do what you do.
Okay. I'll try to keep it short and to the point. So I became a mom when I was 18. Very much unplanned, but completely like zero regrets, right? But because of that, I dropped out of the university. And then because I don't know how it is in the States, but I live in Switzerland, and it's really difficult to find a job that pays more than minimum if you don't have some sort of degree. So because of that, I struggled for the longest time. I could only get jobs that would pay me minimum. It took me years to get enough experience where I could get a job where they took the risk on me and hired me for honestly, it was a really good opportunity for me. And then so when that break came, I thought I just never, ever, ever want to be back in that same situation again. So
Right.
I decided to go back to school while working and get my degree in business management so that I did have some kind of security net, right? So I did that. At that point, I had 2 kids. My youngest daughter was 6 weeks old when I went back to school.
Wow.
And it was a 4-year degree where you work, part-time and then study, and, doing all of that while being a mom and the kids and the home and everything else that we all know goes with it, right?
Right.
And on top of that, I figured, you know what, this is a great time to start my own business because, why not, right? So I did that. I held on for like the 4 years it took me to get my degree. But then like when I got to the end of it, how sometimes like the pressure comes off and you let yourself, go. And like, that's when it hit me. And I just realized that I had burned out, and it's like, I crashed and burned like really, really, really hard. It was like, I still remember the exact day, and exactly like it was during the Christmas holidays. And I just woke up one morning and I just sat on the couch, staring at the floor. And my husband came up and he asked me if I was okay. And I like burst out crying. I was like, no, I really am not okay. And I like the burnout triggered a really bad sleeping disorder, which then triggered a depression. And it was, like really, really bad. I was unable to basically almost like getting out of bed in the morning was like the achievement of the day, and then I'd be on the couch and that was about it. So obviously like I wasn't able to go to work. So I lost my job. I wasn't able to, keep up my business. So my business failed as well. I was hardly even able to be there for my kids. Right. And so I was in a really, really, really bad place for close to 2 years. And I tried everything, going to all the doctors, taking all of the meds, everything, nothing worked. Finally, I found something that did work for me. So I was able to get myself out of that state. But then, at that point, like you feel like, I don't know, if you've ever been in that situation, but you feel very fragile still, it's not like, your old self isn't back yet, right? You're still sort of very, very afraid, to tip back into that situation and stuff. And so I was really afraid of putting myself back out there and trying to, find another job and stuff. And I obviously entrepreneurship has always been my passion. That's why I went to business school, right? Was to start my own business.
Right.
But I wasn't at that point where, like I can start a business, right? I was nowhere. I was like, I need to take care of myself because that's all at that point, all I could manage, right? But because I was so passionate about entrepreneurship, that's one of the very rare things that I sort of still, during that really bleak depression, that sort of still interested me. So I was online a lot, when I started feeling better, right? I was online a lot in groups and stuff where, with other entrepreneurs. And because I didn't have my own business, I sort of was living vicariously through them, and their businesses. And, but I was still, reading a lot of books, doing courses, and sort of like dipping my toe in it, and I figured, what, I'm learning this stuff for when, and I sort of started like, seeing posts and questions and stuff by other women, who are starting their own businesses. And I was like, oh, you know what, like, this is something I just read about that seems really interesting. Maybe you should try this, with whatever you're doing. And, sort of like, commenting, right. And giving, oh, I learned this, I saw that, maybe you could try this. And, people started reaching back out to me saying, oh, like I actually did try doing this and it worked. Like, what else can I try? What else can I do? And like, I sort of, obviously, like, it sounds like it happened, right? It didn't happen very fast, right? But slowly you sort of build this authority, right? And people start coming to you and seeing like, oh, you know what, like, this actually worked. And so like, that's sort of very accidentally how I started my business, which I run now, right? Is by sort of getting results for actually other people before I did anything for myself. I had like, at that point, I didn't have a business, but I was like sort of giving, oh, you know, try this. And it was getting the results. And so people started coming to me. And then my husband's the one who told me, like, when I was sort of getting to the point where I was like, okay enough, you know, to like do something. I was talking about all of this, and he was like, you know what, you should charge them for it. Like, you're giving a really good advice. They're making money with like your help, right?
Right.
So you should be charging. And I was like, you know how very often that's like our first reaction is like, oh,
yes.
I don't think I can do that. But like very slowly, I was like, yeah, okay, like, you know, I can charge like, you know, a little bit, and then, you know, and yeah, that's pretty much how I started coaching other moms on starting their business.
Wow. It's crazy how we be, and in the beginning, we be so unsure about ourselves. It's other people that see like who are potential.
Yeah.
And we have to really tell ourselves, like, is this me? You know, and it's honestly your client avatar, if that's what you want to call it, your ideal audience chose you.
Yeah.
You know, that is a unique situation. And you were just being genuine. And I think those are the best coaches, if I can say that, because you have coaches that give out good information, but, you know, they have been trained to do this. But for you actually went through a situation and was just genuinely giving other women advice so that they wouldn't go through the situation. And they chose you. Like, listen, we want you for a coach. Like, but that's amazing. But that also tells people that's why self-care is so important. Like, we all have the moments, and it's not just in the beginning. As you go through your business, you will always have the moments at a different level, and you just learn how to deal with them as you go along better. But never feel alone. Never feel you're the only one. There is always someone out there that is experienced or have experienced what you experience. And I am a firm believer that every new entrepreneur, especially service providers, need a coach. Yes. You truly need a coach so that you can prevent the burnout. Now, will it happen? Of course, it probably will. But your coach can help you through these moments so that you're not, you know, just giving up. Because if you're an entrepreneur, you got a purpose, you know, and like you were saying, Jen, it don't come overnight. It don't come overnight. It takes time, because you have to engage. You have to let people know who you are. I've never just went into a Facebook group or any group and been like, hey, I'm a VA and got thousands of clients. Never. That has never worked. You know, you really have to engage and build that relationship. And I think a lot of us, we forget that part, that you do have to build it. You have to get people to trust you. People are not just going to be like, oh, you're a VA. Well, I need you. I'll pay you $20,000 to be my, you know, that don't happen.
Right. And now I think, like, you know, especially with online and the social media and how everything is just expected to happen instantly. Yeah. People have this unreal expectation that, you know, like you say, you're going to put out a post and say, here I am, this is why you need me. And people are just going to come. No, you know, we all want to believe that we're unique. We're not. You have to tell people, like, you have to build a relationship, right? It's a two-way street. Yes. And you can't just come and bulldoze into them and expect them to just like hail you as their savior, right? It's just not going to happen. You have to build it.
I was watching this video on Instagram the other day, and I cannot think of her name. So if she hears this, please forgive me. But she had said something that made a lot of sense. She said, you don't just go into a bank and tell the teller, I want to withdraw money, and you don't have money. You have to make a deposit to withdraw money. She said, when you're outreaching your clients, look at it in that manner. You have to deposit something in order to withdraw something. And that made so much sense to me, which gave me myself a different outlook on some things. Because sometimes we do, all of us are guilty of it. We'll think like, you got this great idea. No one can resist this. This is amazing. And we don't think like, listen, it's your idea. It's your idea. You gotta get people to actually know you.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's I'm terrible with remembering who said what, but there's
Me too.
Someone, I really, but there's someone who says, right, like a marketing expert who says, that it's like the give, ask principle, right? You give, and then once you establish the relationship, then you can ask for the sale, right? Yeah. But you don't go in asking for the sale. And I think, to your point that you were saying earlier, for me, is that I think that's why I was able to start my business, is because in the beginning, like I didn't have a business. I wasn't doing anything with that in mind, right? Mm-hmm. I was only offering advice, and I was only saying like, you know what, like, here's something that I think you should try. So I'm like giving them value over and over. And then, then afterwards, I was actually really surprised when I said, you know what, like, I'm going to, like, I can't do this for free anymore. Here's, what, like, I'd love to keep working with you, but here's how it would work from now on. And not everybody said yes, but like some of them did. And that's all you need to start out, right?
Yes. I tell my community all the time, for one, follow-up is the key. You're going to hear no. Don't get discouraged. You're going to hear no. Yeah. As a service provider, product provider, you're going to hear no. But it doesn't always mean no. It could mean not yet, not at this time. Yeah. So if you follow up, because following up is the key. Persistence truly pays in our industries of being entrepreneurs. So that is truly up to you, and you have to get that mindset. You can't get a no and then just bum out and not try. It's been days I've done client outreach and had to reach out to 50 people before I got a yes. It happens.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that if you have a contact with a potential client and then they say no, and you're like, okay, and like move on and never speak to them again, it also, like, to what you were saying, like, maybe it doesn't mean no, it means not now. Well, but when they're ready, they're not going to come to you, because now they have the feeling, well, she was only interested, she only cared when she thought that I was going to pay. When it wasn't the time, and I couldn't, then she just ditched me and moved on. And you get this kind of gross feeling, right? Whereas if it's someone who gets back in touch with you, hey, we chatted about a month ago, how are you doing? Just wanted to catch up. Maybe it still isn't the right time, but maybe it is. And now they're thinking, wow, this person actually cares, and you're back in the forefront of their mind, right? Exactly. And that, honestly, it takes like zero time, on your part. It doesn't have to be, right, a 12 page letter. Right. Writing them. It's just, hey, how are you doing? Right. That's all it takes.
Exactly. And then even if they say no, again, maybe they ran into somebody that they know that needs you, and be like, oh, you know what? I just talked to so-and-so yesterday. I'm glad you reached out. It's those little moments that we miss, but those are the moments that truly build our businesses, moments like that. And you want to keep a good reputation. I'm telling you, negative comments take off fast, way faster than positive comments.
For sure. Yeah. For sure. Not sure what how that works, but it's definitely true.
Exactly. Man. So can you tell us, like, the name of your coaching business, exactly who your client avatar is?
Yeah. So so my website is successsavvymom.com. So successsavvymom.com. And I work mainly with moms who are usually like at the very start of their business journey, right? Either they have started a business, but they're not quite sure, because like for most of us, it's very new, right? Starting a business, like you're like, okay, I'm starting a business, but like, what do I do? How do I do it? And then, or it's moms who haven't started a business yet, but just like, no, okay, I want to start a business, but I sometimes, they don't know they don't know what they can offer. They also, a lot of people sometimes think like, well, like I don't have really anything that I can offer. But like, I know I want to start a business, and there is always something of value that you have to offer. That's like, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter, like none of that matters. You always have something of value to offer the world. So those are usually like the two types of moms that I work with. Obviously, you work with others, but that's my niche, right?
Okay, yeah. So I'm just gonna put you on the spot. We know your birthday's coming up. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
And in Switzerland, man, tell us a little bit about Switzerland. When I think of Switzerland, I think of skiing. I don't know why, but that is the first thing that come to mind is skiing. And I truly do want to go to Switzerland one day.
Oh, if you do, hit me up and we meet up, right?
For sure. Because I'm gonna need somebody to show me around and probably translate for me, because I know everyone's not speaking English, or do they?
Well, if you're going to really touristy places, they'll usually manage some English.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you go outside of that, then probably not so much.
And as usual, I'm always taking over the interview. ToriAunna, do you have anything you would like to say to Miss Jennifer?
I do have some questions. You don't take over, Mom. You don't. I'm more of a listener. So I like to learn.
Why didn't you listen when you was a kid then? Okay.
That's why I listen now, okay? I like to learn as much as I can at first before I get mine out. But I do want to know about your stories. Like, are there any tips you can share? Because there is a lot of people, even I, have my days of depression and everything. And some people don't know how to manage it in a healthy way. Like, do you have any healthy tips to share?
Yeah, so I think, honestly, I think the biggest issue is usually mindset. As moms, I think we're just, I don't know, I think it's part of our genetic makeup that because we have a baby, we put our kids first. And because we do that, we tend to put everybody else first. And so when we do something for ourselves, we feel guilty that we're doing something for ourselves. We feel selfish. We feel sort of embarrassed. Like, I really shouldn't be taking time off. I really shouldn't be, doing this for myself. And so there's just a lot of negative self-talk that goes on inside our minds when we sort of, because speaking from a personal experience, but also watching my clients as well, is you sort of feel like the warning signs coming on, like you're tired, you're more irritable, you're more this, more that. It's like, oh, it's just, I'm having a bad day, or this came up today and, it's just, whatever. So you're sort of trained to ignore the warning signs. And I think to sort of get over that, it's really, that's actually a lot of what I do with my own clients is, and what you were saying before, Torie, is that it's so important for entrepreneurs to have a coach, is because I think that a really big thing that we need is somebody to give us permission. Is just tell us, you know what, you are a rock star. You have done so much. Yes. And it's okay. Take the day off, take the time off. I tell my clients sometimes, you know what, if and I do the same thing. If I'm having a crap day and you just, you're trying something and the words aren't coming out, you're trying to write, a post, you're trying to write content, whatever, and the words aren't coming out, or you're doing something else. And it's just, there are those days, right, where it just doesn't, it's not working. You're like, you know what, take that day off. Otherwise you're going to spend the day, being frustrated with yourself, being all, and it just makes it worse, right? Take the day off. And so like, that's something that I do all the time with my clients. I think, like as a coach, it's sort of finding a very delicate balance, because like sometimes you'll hold back when you're starting a business because you're afraid, because of imposter syndrome, which we were talking about earlier, right? When you don't feel like, the who am I to do this?
Right.
And all of that. So then you have to push them forward. Like, yes, you can do this. Yes, you absolutely, you are the right person for this. Yes, you have value to provide. And then also the like, when you're pushing, they're pushing themselves too hard, is like, take the time off, So like, honestly, I think like a lot of it is mindset, is we're very bad at giving ourselves permission, I think.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I think having a coach is really valuable, is to give somebody to know that you've always, no matter what, you've got this person in your corner, right?
Yeah.
And she's got my back. She's going to push me when I need to be pushed, and she's going to give me permission to take the day off when I need to take the day off.
Yes. This is your coach is your accountability partner, not just accountability for all the wrong stuff you do, but the accountability to encourage you, push you, and tell you to take some time off. We become entrepreneurs and forget this is why we're entrepreneurs, so we can control our schedule. You got the ability to do that.
Exactly. Like, when I pushed myself to burnout, right? I had those 4 years when I was, working on my business, working, as an employee, studying, having, the kids, the family, and all that. And like for those 4 years, obviously, you take some time off, but there's always this little voice in your head telling you, ooh, you really should be studying right now. Ooh, you've got this thing for that client next week. You really should be working on that. And you've got this little voice that just never shuts up in the back of your mind. And I think that's what really does it. What really takes you down is not being able to shut off that voice, So yeah, to have someone like actually voice it for you and say that it's okay for you to take that time off, I think that's really important.
For sure. Man, I know I push myself a lot now, and I'm giving out advice like I just did, but I don't always take my own advice, because you feel like I know I need a break, but I can just get this done real quick, and then that real quick turn into 4 or 5 more hours. But yeah, we really do got to be learn to discipline ourselves more, because self-care is important. Your mental health, self-care is important. It truly is. It truly is.
I think that one thing that I didn't realize, and I think a lot of people don't realize, is, oh yeah, your health, but I'm healthy, I'm fine. But it can happen like that. And guys, like, to everybody who's listening to this, if you don't have your health, you have nothing. I watched for 2 years, like I watched my kids sort of hide how hurt they were that I couldn't play with them because I was too tired. And that is soul crushing. It's the worst thing it only happened because I did not take care of myself, right? Yeah. So take care of yourself. You cannot take care of anybody else if you don't take care of yourself.
Man, I swear I call moms, we're superheroes. It's just our nature. We take on everything just by nature. And you are absolutely right when you said earlier, because we're moms, we just automatically take care of everybody first. That's just in our genetics. We make sure everybody is good and then feel truly guilty about doing something for ourselves. Because I know that is definitely me. And for sure, my daughter, yes. And I really want her to reach out to a coach. No, it's just she's new entrepreneur, and I want her to be successful, and she do put a lot on herself because for one,
Not just a
she
new
is a mom,
entrepreneur, yeah, a new mom
a new
who's
mom.
just turned 2 or turning 2. So
Yes.
it's all new.
Yeah.
And that new mom syndrome lasts for a while, especially when you only got the one. And then all the different things that you go through with the toddler, man, I had 7. So
I was thinking about that. I was like, oh my God, like again, like I have 2. And like some days that's already above like what I can manage,
For real.
I'm
I'm like, I don't know how my mom did 7. She said
not gonna
terrible
lie.
twos. My son started being bad at 1.5. That's not 2.
I'm
Maybe
not
I should
gonna
be over
lie.
sooner too.
Man, I look at my grandchildren now and I ask myself, how did you do 7 little ones at once? I don't know. It was the blessing of the Lord, because now today, oh Lord, no, I couldn't. I don't know how I got through that. Thank God I did. Man, real quick, Jen, do you have any tips though for balancing, your business and your children?
Yeah, so it's obviously going to depend, on a lot of different things, right? How old your kids are, how many you have, where you are in your business, if you're working, on the side and trying to grow a business, as a side hustle,
Yes.
on a lot of stuff. But I would definitely, the first thing I would do is really start speaking kindly to yourself. Like you said, moms are absolutely a force of nature, but sometimes that can work to our detriment, right? We push ourselves, and like we feel guilty when we're not pushing ourselves. So
Yes.
speak kindly to yourself. Realize that you 100% deserve that break. You 100% deserve that evening off, that weekend off, 100%.
Yeah.
Then I would really, again, it depends on where you are in your business and all of this, but if you have something, like sometimes like my clients, I work with them on launching a product. So obviously during the launch phase, it's just going to be hectic. That's just the way it is.
Yes.
So realize that it's during a given time. Right now, you're doing a lot. You've got a lot on your plate. After this, set some time where you can spend quality time with your family, right? Try to, I always say, and I know it's not always easy, but communicate as best you can, at least with your spouse or your partner, if you have one, with your kids, if they're old enough, obviously, but, tell them, what you're trying to do, what you're trying to create. It's not just for yourself, right? It's for yourself, but for your family as well, right? Ultimately, that's all of our goals down the road, right?
Yes.
Be able to have this life where we can have this perfect balance, right? Of doing something we love, that's our calling, and spending all the time with our family. So to tell them, I have to go through this to get to that. Then, like as sort of like very, very down to earth tips, I would say if you're working from home, I like to time block. So I'll have a certain task and I'll time block it, and I'll set a timer. When the timer goes off, a lot of the time I'm terrible at estimating how much time something's going to take me. So a lot of the time it's not done. It doesn't matter. The timer goes off, get up, do something, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, come back and do it. And have, like, even if it can't be a lot of time, like during a launch or something, or you're working during the day and trying, working on your business in the evening, try to block out some time to be with your family. And during that time, don't look at your phone, don't look at your emails, don't your family is all that exists for you. You need that time, because like, I don't know if there's any way to completely escape mom guilt. If there is, then if somebody listening has that solution, please tell me. I'd love to know.
Right.
But there are some things that we can do to alleviate that feeling, right? And spending time with your family is really important. So even if it's just 30 minutes while you're all at the dinner table, like be all there, you know, like your kids and your spouse, your partner, whoever it is, like right now, that's your sole focus.
Wow, man, thank you. Because honestly, I'm going to take some of those tips, because I time block, and I have a lunch going on now. And even when I time block, I still just just work through whatever I set the deuce. And I've been doing this for, the launches are extremely, just depending on what you're launching, it can be extremely time consuming, because it like I've been getting ready for this launch for the past 2 weeks, and now we're launching. It's even more time consuming. And I needed that advice, because I have been working around the clock, and my family would come in and they just be looking. And so now that usually they just leave me alone and let me do my thing. But this is where I'm knowing that I haven't been spending a lot of time with them, because they'll just come in and they don't even care now what I'm doing. They'll just start talking to me, and they'll sit down. My 3-year-old granddaughter, she came in yesterday and she was talking to me, and I said, "Babe, Gammy's working." She just kept talking. So I stopped and I listened. About 30 minutes, she was just talking, and she gonna look at me and say, "You need to get back to work." I said, "Well, thank you. Thank you." But that 30 minutes, I needed that. And she had been holding that little conversation for a couple days. That's the first time she talked that much consistently. I had to stop and listen to her. At 3?
Yeah, but those are the moments that count so much, right? Didn't you feel like going back to it? Didn't you feel amazing? Like,
yes,
time with my little girl, right?
Yes, it was. I said, wow. So yeah, thank you for that advice, because I am definitely going to start doing that more. When you're in the zone, as I call it, you don't really notice how it do affect your family and your surroundings, and it do affect them. They understand your mission, but they do understand that they miss kicking it with you too,
Yeah, so exactly. Yeah. And I think once you train yourself to time block, and like I said, I put a timer on, and I always watch like the first few seconds of the timer ticking down, and that sort of kicks my brain into like, like the time's going away, I need to focus on this now. So it's a lot easier to just be a lot more productive, get so much more done in less time, versus what I did before, which is what a lot of people do, is just sit down and like, oh, I can't remember, and sort of, piddle around tasks and start one thing and then do another, and then you're distracted and you go down the rabbit hole and then you're at the end and you spent 8 hours working and you got 0 done, right?
Yes.
That sounds like me.
Yeah, it's all a matter, you have to get these systems in place, you have to get this discipline, and as soon as you do, like, it completely like changes everything for your productivity, for your business, for your family life, and everything. It all works together to just like completely change everything.
Yes, man, I'd say for whoever's listening, just try it. I know as an entrepreneur, when I first started, I had the mindset of that won't work for me. I just need to get this stuff done. But I found myself, just what you said, Jennifer, doing so many different things, and then nothing is complete. So when I did start creating me a task list and blocking time out for certain things as far as getting my projects done, I started accomplishing more. But when you're starting on your journey, you're excited because you're starting your business. but I say start from the beginning with setting your tasks, your time blocking. That way you'll already have it in the routine, and that burnout won't come so quick or harsh. And get you a coach, ladies. Please get you a coach. Seriously, get a coach. I'm telling you, best thing that ever happened to me when I got a coach. Because you can see it. Yeah, you can see it from a different person's perspective. They see things in you that you don't see.
Exactly.
So
we all have blind spots. We all have blind spots. And that was something for me that was really difficult because my business sort of started very by accident and unofficially, right? It took me a while to realize that I even had a business, which is weird. But then so it took me a while to actually think, like I need to hire a coach. And because like I was teaching women how to do business, and I was like, that's really weird that I need to hire a coach to do what I'm teaching. But like we all 100%, we all need a coach. We all have blind spots. And if you hire the right coach, it is 100% worth every single penny that you put into it. Every single penny. Like I have zero regrets. I know there are, I've had clients who are very I don't know what like the right word I'm looking for is, but like very skeptical, I guess, about hiring a new coach because they've had bad experiences. Because it's very easy to call yourself a coach, right? There's no real, right. So you've got the extraordinary coaches out there, and then you've got the the other side of the spectrum with the really bad coaches. But don't be afraid if you're hiring a coach. Don't be afraid to speak to several. You should be able to speak with a coach, for free before hiring them, and see how things go. Like if you click with them or not. But yeah, 100%. Like if you get the right coach, you will not regret it. Like worth
not at all.
Invest.
Absolutely. And guys, don't be afraid to do your research. There's nothing wrong with getting a group of coaches that you feel you want to work with and actually do your research. With my coach, I did my research. I even reached out to some of their students that gave testimonies that I was able to find. I just messaged and say, hey, no disrespect. I was thinking of using your coach. Just wanted to know what your experience was. And nobody had a problem with telling me, the good thing or bad thing, and, so yeah, definitely do your research. But coaches, please, ladies, as business owners and mothers, get a coach. Get a coach. Wow, Jen, this has been amazing. Yeah. I have enjoyed talking to you. You're going to have to come back and talk to us some more, because I know we're going to get a lot of follow-up questions after this episode. And definitely, I want to make sure I got your contact information so I can put it in the description. With you being a coach, I'm sure a lot of women would like to reach out to you and speak to you personally themselves. So that Jennifer's love, what is wrong with me today? Jennifer's information, guys, will be in the description, so you guys can reach out to her.
Yeah.
Unless you're watching the YouTube version, I'll put it on the screen.
And if you're watching the video version, you'll see it on the screen, guys. Well, thank you, Jennifer. We appreciate you. Oh. You have a great rest of your day. And
thank you. Thank you so much for having me. This is amazing. I'll come back anytime you want.
I will be reaching out again. I'm actually looking at doing a panel talk in the next couple of weeks. We're getting a couple different mompreneurs on a panel, and we just have a discussion about life.
Sounds great.
I don't know. So we'll be reaching out. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Have a good one, guys.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.